What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Hollywood Already Did It, your movie podcast for reboots, remakes, sequels, adaptations, and why we keep telling these stories time and time again. As always, I am your host, Blake Schultz, and with me is Terrence Tatum.
Hello, everyone.
And this week we are talking about the second Mortal Kombat movie. I'm trying to do some quick math. It's been 5 years. That was a 2021. It's 2026. Long wait
Well, second
between those
recent
two. Second
Mortal
recent.
Kombat.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. Following their reboot during COVID of the 90s movie, which was so desperately needed after Annihilation. Although I retain that the first Mortal Kombat is still great.
Annihilation. I mean, it's crazy how many live action at bats Mortal Kombat has gotten. Because I don't know if you remember this. There was a short-lived television series of Mortal Kombat
There
called
was
Conquest that
that.
existed.
There was the web series that kind of came out,
Legacy.
and
Yes.
Legacy was, yeah, they keep, because there's so much to it. Like, I think it's an interesting franchise to mine, because you could really, if you truly wanted to, be like, we're going to make a movie solely about the Lin Kuei or the Shaolin monks or Scorpion's village
Hmm.
or Kano and the special forces or the Cyrax and Sector. I guess that would be in the Lin Kuei movie. Or
Yeah, you
you
could
could go to
each character
so
you could spin. Yeah.
it's such a you could do a like Game of Thrones show with all these different things, and then just at the finale be like tournament,
Tournament time.
um,
Yeah.
and that would be awesome. But I think it's why so many of them either feel like watered down. Like, I think the biggest problem with the first movie outside of its age is really like, well, Scorpion, Sub-Zero are zombies in this. They
Hmm.
are just they are presented to us as two great warriors that Shang Tsung has hypnotized. We don't even see them before. We have no context of their like rivalry or anything else. They're just there to be awesome, and they both kind of get like lame deaths. Um, Kind of
Yeah.
cool ones. I kind of like Sub-Zero's throwing the water back at him, but you really are kind of like, I want, give me more. Um, or then in man, I don't remember the short-lived show that well at all, but in the web series gets a lot of it because it has that freedom. But then each of these reboots is very much just like action scenes and deaths.
Yeah, the live action series was a prequel to the games overall. So it dealt with Kung Lao, Shang Tsung, and I would say I think Shao Kahn was in there as well. But then it's all pretty much new characters because it's about like what happened before one of the tournament runs that they wound up losing. Um, but very short-lived. It was attached, very cheap looking. Kind of like I would say along the lines of the Blade series that existed, the
Right.
budget for that was about the same that it was for Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the best thing that I've seen from Mortal, and we'll get on this movie in a bit, but the best thing that I've seen from Mortal Kombat as a whole was probably the Scorpion's Revenge animated movie that came out.
Oh,
That was
without a
probably the
doubt.
best
Yeah.
story that I felt like, oh, you gave me a beginning, middle, and I felt like I've grown and told a character changed and grew from this. And then there's no tournament in that, but it was just about Scorpion with some other characters sort of sprinkled around. This film.
And then there's this.
So let me start. So let me say this. The 2021 version, the one that came out during COVID, I absolutely hate it. Like I think it's a terrible, terrible film. For a couple of reasons. One, it's a bad movie as a whole, but it's also a bad Mortal Kombat movie. And so when you midi-chlorian the Mortal Kombat universe and say,
Oh,
hey, there's an Arcana and you have to gain this and stop. They just have powers. We all are here for a reason. We know what we're here for. Just give them powers and call it a day. We don't need to have this over-explained to us. And then the Cole Young of it all. And you're like, why is this? Who is this? Why is this person here? He's not only is it, I get you want to give us an entryway as a viewer to say, hey, I want to say that non-playable character enters the world, but he's bad. He's a bland character. He doesn't add anything. And then there's no real power set to him until you give him like a golden armor that just appears out of nowhere for
I
him.
think what bothers me the most about him, well, there's two things, and one of them is I kind of a spoiler. Whatever. Yeah, spoilers already. Whatever. The two things that bother me about him the most are that we've tethered him to Scorpion, one of the like
Hmm.
best characters in this franchise, and we made such a big deal about the Arcanas, and yet his Arcana is like it's not quite summoning Scorpion, And in the
Right.
top of this movie, they're like, oh, he has a suit that absorbs energy and shoots it back. And I was like, so we did all of this nonsense to then ultimately like, well, why can't we just have Sonya have a laser thing on her wrist then? Why can't
Right.
we
Yeah.
are doing the tech stuff? Why do we have this? And why
It's
do we
it's
keep making him the face? Because like
yeah,
we don't need this. I
we
understand that like
don't.
having someone to bring in, but in that movie, so in the first movie, Sonya Blade is brand new. He's
Hmm.
brand new. Kano is brand. So many brand new characters
There,
are
no
there.
one knows this world.
Really, the
Right.
only ones that aren't are Sub Zero, Shang Chi, Liu Kang, Kung Lao,
Yeah.
and Raiden.
Right.
You have
You
pick
have
somebody
your
else.
we
You're
have your
getting
entry point already. Right. Yeah. The second Sonya, Jax, and Kano meet Luke, like that's it. Like that's our entry point. We don't need to have another
yep,
person do that.
one
Um,
exposition dump from Raiden, and everyone's like, "Got it, magic."
got it.
We understand Lord
Cool.
of the Rings and
Moving
Harry
on.
Potter and other things of fiction.
And then the other thing that really bothered me about that first one was that there was no tournament. And I that was the sort of big like nothing. They like we were like, this is the movie before the tournament. And I'm okay with that if the movie's good, but it wasn't. So then we get to this one. And I will say that the movie still as a film is not good. But what I will say that it is a significantly better Mortal Kombat movie. Like it does succeed a lot better at being the Mortal Kombat beats, which still does not equal a good movie. But they immediately try and apologize and say, forget all the things that we kind of messed up that first time. That's on us. Our bad. Arcana, we're not even going to mention that again. Same with
No,
midichlorians. Like, we won't even talk about that. Everybody just has the power. We're good. We're good here. Cole Young has been neutered down to like the sixth man on the call
he
sheet.
is
Like,
barely in the
barely.
movie.
He's barely in the movie. And the only reason he's there is because like the first one was attached to him. If they didn't have to, they probably would have just like, we're trying to give this to a different character. But he's
Yeah,
there solely because we got to close up some loose ends because this people are going to ask questions. But he's so far in the background. And my audience gave a great cheer when what happens to him happens.
you know what? Yeah, man, I'm so oddly conflicted with that because yeah, because the setup for the movie, we'll just kind of get into it.
Yeah.
We open with Katana's dad,
Hmm.
Jared, fighting Shao Kahn. He loses. We kind of see what is in the lore of the game of him taking Katana and I just forgot Katana's mother's name, which bothers me so much. Sindel. And
Sindel. Well,
Sindel and kind
her
of
name becomes Sindel. Yes.
yeah, and doing
Hmm.
all of the Shao Kahn things he does. He takes over
Hmm.
Outworld. He has these two people. We're going to start the tournament. Once I win 10 in a row, which is an insane number. I know that it's in the
Seems
game and it's
excessive.
always been. It seems like a lot.
Yeah. That
I
seems
guess though
excessive.
it's enough, I suppose, where like the people in Earth, you can be like, oh yeah, the last one was like a century ago, centuries
Right.
ago.
And
So
I guess if you're
we
fighting for a
can,
world, like the whole
yeah.
realm, 10's fine. It just seems, it feels like a big
It
number.
allows you to have people to bring in instead of just being like it's the 10th Mortal Kombat. Like in theory, like New York and LA and Chicago and all the major cities, China should all be like, guys, this is the biggest thing.
Right.
This is the Olympics, but like there will be a leader who owns us if we lose. Like, and instead they're like, shh, we can't talk about this tournament. Don't
Yeah.
we don't want to we don't want to freak anyone
Like
out
no
here.
one should know about this. We will talk
It's
about this in the
important we
back
win because I
hallways.
have not explained this to anyone. It really Raiden should almost be framed up like a kid who didn't do his homework and he's trying not to present. Where he's just
Yeah.
like, no, I forget. Is that today?
Can
I
you just
thought
imagine all the
I did
shocked people
not tell anyone.
who have no idea this is the thing, and all of a sudden they're like, "Wait, our world's conquered? How did? Wait, could we have stopped
Oh,
this?"
so guys, couple things. I'm the god of thunder. There are elder gods I have to talk to, and I'm so sorry. I should have brought this up a long time ago. Uh, there's like five other realms. But it's the biggest problem with that opening that I did have was how it really, and it's the whole movie. It looks like it is the most like green screen. We're in front of this. We filmed. It felt like the director was afraid to take the camera and move it 180 degrees to get a reverse shot. I felt like I was watching a play with digital backgrounds behind me the whole time.
It's
Uh,
funny because like there are moments. Yes, I do think that it does look like that, but
but
there are
then there are
moments when
moments
it
that look
doesn't.
great. They get to
There are moments when it
Baraka's
doesn't look.
city.
That Kung Lao Liu Kang fight looks amazing. Now, granted, it's all blue, but the reason why it looks great is because that's how it was in the game. And so, like, there's some times when I'm like, I don't mind this looking like that or to your point, not reversing the shot, because I think the fight that Khan has with Cole on that bridge is done on purpose because we're trying to recreate the acid bridge,
We want you to have that
like a
set up.
2D level
But you
sort of
don't need to do that's
feel
like
to
the
that.
first person shit in Doom, the movie. I get it, but like, come
Yeah,
on.
yeah,
Like,
I get it. This movie felt like it was like, hey, we pissed off all the Mortal Kombat fans the first time. We're going to give you Mortal Kombat till you can't. Like, we're going to give you all the Easter eggs that we could possibly give you in this film, for better or for worse.
this is the first that I had leaving the movie was this is the Super Mario adaptation problem.
Mhm.
Because they are just showing me all the things and they're technically doing it correctly. And I care about nothing.
There's no weight to any of it. Yeah,
Because yeah, then we God, then we do like our exposition with the team. Then we go get Johnny Cage, the
we get
highlight
Cage,
of the movie,
which
the most marketed person in the movie, who then is not really the main character because I
he's
think
not the main character.
Katana's the main
It's
character.
Katana's movie. It's Katana's movie.
And yet
Yeah,
this whole thing was like, who is going to be Johnny Cage? And
but I
and
mean,
he's on the top of the
he's at the
poster.
top of the
We
poster.
got him, and I was
He's the
like,
most recognizable name. And I
pick.
think that's why they do that because like Katana, the actress that's playing Katana is not that known, but it's definitely a deep fake. This movie does like a quadruple deep fake because you're like Cole's here. Oh wait, we don't care about him anymore.
No,
And
no,
it's
we're done with
interesting
that.
because that last movie, if I just watched it,
I
slapped
did
my hand on
too
the
to
wrist.
refresh my memory, which
But
I don't need
like
to do
that
because
movie
nothing
ends
happens.
with us assuming Cole Young is going to go find Johnny Cage. In this movie, they're like, we're gonna abort that. Sonya, you go get
What's in
him.
Hollywood? Oh, it turns out we can just teleport everyone where we need them, anyways. Um, which is also it's annoying that we spent the whole movie with Cole, bringing him into the world, and then doing it with Johnny Cage at 10 times the speed.
Correct.
It is very weird that we then kind of had to repeat those beats.
Hmm.
Um, Also very I'm very weird with Cole now because I didn't like him. I don't think he's needed. And I also kind of now I'm like, I don't know that we needed to kill him the way we did. Because even when he fights Shao Kahn in that scene, Shao Kahn makes his you have Scorpion's blood in you, and I can't and then just kills him.
He's murdered. Yeah.
And it's like, oh, so none of
None
this
of it.
mattered.
Well, that's
He didn't
well,
even have we didn't even see him absorb the energy and like hit the suit
I
back.
think that's the biggest like it's a twofold. Like one on one hand, I'm like because my audience cheered because like they were like get that dude off the board. And I'm like, yeah, I don't want Cole Young either. But on the second hand, I'm like, well, so
But now
then
Scorpion's landlocked.
we just wasted an hour and 50 minutes on a film, and then the only attachment we have to Scorpion is that he's in the netherworld, and we're not going to get him until like whenever somebody's like, "Hey, where's Sub-Zero at? Nowhere. Let's dig him up, and then we'll have them two fight in a battle that means nothing to
Nothing.
this
Nothing.
film at all. Like, it doesn't affect
It is
tournament
just a
numbers.
background
It's
fight.
nothing. It's
Yeah.
just because we were like Scorpion and Sub-Zero are cool looking. Let's put them in
Also,
there.
yeah, let's talk about the tournament. Not how tournaments work. We get these floating things in the sky that I imagine
Which
he's
I
going to
think
try
is
to
kind of a
recreate.
cool like marker for people to see.
It's fun, but it
It's
is also
it's
weird that
arbitrary
it's
though.
not over like Earth. It's another thing where I'm like, shouldn't this also be over like Earth realm? Like, shouldn't some guy in Idaho be like, what is that? I, I feel like that's bad. Um,
The Big Dipper, there's the moon. What is that thing?
I did kind of appreciate that we like threw Johnny Cage in there, had him lose, and then was like, okay, continue the movie.
Yeah,
That
and I,
was
I
sort of an
I like that, and I like that because you have the option of not, which is fun because in the games you don't always do your fatalities or you fail at them. So I was like, oh, that's a kind of a cool sort of thing. Like not everybody goes immediately to their fatalities.
unlike the first
So
one
but
where
then you
we
give
just
him
ripped people
murder
apart.
everybody. Yeah, but it's cool because you give him a story that's not sort of attached to the main tournament piece. So
Yeah,
it's like you've already taken him out of that. So okay, that's a cool way to do that and keep him as being
it's
important.
it's another kind of bummer of the execution of it because I sort of liked that then he was going to get to go through all this like character development with Raiden, who we just 86, and we put him we
Yeah,
Zordon him in the Power Rangers movie. We slit half his
very
throat. He
good.
has to
Yes,
use
that is.
all of his energy to lie in this bed.
Yeah.
Yeah, every moment that almost could have been interesting was like, actually, we're going to take this character off the board. And the
Hmm.
focus of this movie is going to be like Johnny Cage being silly, Kano being silly, and Katana figuring out how to like betray Shao Kahn. and we're going to
yeah,
have this
get her
tournament in the
revenge.
background. And some of it kind of works because it is that, like, yeah, Shang Tsung and Shao Kahn try to figure out how to cheat. That's part of the game.
Hmm.
But because we ice Raiden, there's like no repercussions to it. Because Quan Chi is like barely in the movie, we don't really get to play with what is one of the more interesting parts as the franchise goes of like Scorpion kills Sub Zero, Sub Zero comes back as a noob Saibot, Sub Zero's brother shows up, and then it turns out that Quan Chi actually did what Sub Zero did, and we get to have this redemption arc with Scorpion where he's like less of like a nether realm demon working for the bad guys and more on the side of kind of just himself.
Yeah,
And I was like, that would have been a fun story. It's a shame that we just leapt to being like, hey, Quan Chi, you exist simply to bring back characters that we know people are going to miss because they're dead now. Could you
yeah,
go get Sub Zero, who becomes Noob Saibot? Again, what we do in the games, great. But no one else becomes a different person that he
yeah. Like everyone else
revives.
comes back as themselves. Like they with all of their memories, except for him. We just need to make him cool.
We also don't call it,
The,
we keep calling him Bihan. And so I was like, just say Noob Saibot.
just
Just
say
let
noob.
him come. Just
Just
do
say
the.
noob. Like again, similar with the Arcana stuff before. We know what we're here for. Just give it to us. Like if you can't halfway do it. Like this is what he
And the
dressed up
Noob
and keep
Saibot
calling him
stuff
Bihan.
was awesome.
It was.
Like it,
It was.
it is. This is a perfect like 60% movie to me, where I'm like, man, this is bad, and the story is bad, but the moments where it's good are great. Watching Kano and Johnny Cage play, awesome.
Anytime
Watching,
Kano's on screen is a good time for me. Like
yeah,
he is the best part of this film. And that
all
and
of
the
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 fights.
Kung Lao fight, I loved. The
The
Kung Lao
Kung Lao
fight was
fight was
amazing.
great. Uh, I liked Sonya and Sindel's. It was another moment where I was like, oh man, Sindel, we're just done with this.
I was
And he
mad
does
at how
revive
quickly
her
we got
again and
Sindel,
locks up.
even though she came back, but the I was sad how quickly she basically when she came back, she was just in a background character at
She's
that point.
just
She
in the
never said
cage.
anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She
Um,
she then exists so Shao Kahn can be like, what if I just killed your mom again, Katana?
yeah.
Do what I say. Which is
Mhm.
wild, but we don't spend really enough time with Shao Kahn for me to be like, whoa, like this. That's a
Yeah.
crazy thing to
And
do.
because we jump ahead so much, we don't we never take another scene to see how Shao and Katana truly were. Kind of similar how like in Marvel we got a couple of those scenes where Thanos and Gamora had moments where we saw like, okay, he was fatherly to me, but I'm still in the back of my head gonna remember I need to kill this dude because you killed the person who was actually my father. Anything that had any sort of emotional ability or a tangible like weight to character just didn't happen in this movie. They just speed through and
Yeah,
kind of get through the beats.
because we tried to do that with Jade, right? Like we like
Yeah,
Jax lets her live. Katana has her like moment with her where she's like, maybe don't do this. And then she it feels very arbitrary that she like breaks her staff and goes and helps them. And I was like,
yeah.
clearly they're trying to do a Thanos Gamora Nebula thing.
Hmm.
And it all feels very rushed, which is weird because when the movie does slow down, like when we get to the Tarkatans and we play with Baraka, and we are clearly on a set instead of in CG world, he looks better than everything else. It's
Everything else.
clearly like makeup and prosthetics. We're
It's
doing actual stuff,
some light in the film. Like we've actually,
and
yeah,
we build lore very quickly, and like, it proves that they can do it because they get there and they're like, "We know you hate this guy," and he's like, "Everyone hates us. We're sick. Screw all of you." Johnny Cage is a dick. Then Baraka's like, I'm gonna fuck you up."
yeah,
And then we get this moment where he's like, "I need to learn everything I can about this guy," and I was like, "This is awesome."
yeah.
Why aren't we building a team? Why does he get this one scene and then we're just off? I get the tournament rules, but like we don't want him to come. He gets them to their like cage and is like, as far as I can go. See you
I
later.
I think they got their hand slapped so hard for that first film to say no tournament that they tied themselves to the tournament so heavy in this. When I think there's a better story that exists to we don't have to do every we don't have to do every round of the tournament in this film. That's sort of what I'm getting at. Like we
And I
can take our time and say, all right, we'll get two. It would end better if you left us on a cliffhanger where one side was winning or one side was losing, and then we'll come back because inevitably we're going to get a third film. It would have felt better if you had sort of spaced like, all right, we don't need to burn through all five of these and get to an end in this because we have another story to tell with Katana or we have something else to tell with Johnny Cage or Kano or something like that.
you also could have done it like I think what the first one does well is that the tournament's there. and you get all these character moments and background information, and then and then it'll be like, oh, this morning we're all going to go to the beach and fight. I really hated that in this one they were just like
Teleported out, like beamed
teleport
up.
away, because
Yeah.
then we're just in these, and again, this is the Super Mario problem. Now we're in a place I recognize because I played the game, but I have no context, and it works in a game
Yeah.
because it's a
Yeah.
game.
Because you're
Um,
basically leveling up, but like to all of a sudden just show up in this asset level, like, well, where are we?
and I think if you had taken the time to build out like Shao Kahn's temple, Shang Tsung's island, the special forces stuff, and then sort of were, I don't know if it's more time because it is a short movie, but if you could have even done something where it's like, oh, we now can kind of teleport around, but we're on a mission over here. This next one between Sonya and whoever is going to be at the special forces base because that's where we happen to be.
Hmm.
And we're doing something else for the plot, and then we'll get to here. And now we could have
Yeah.
made these locations feel more like places and less like a CGI
A
slop.
level, like
Yeah,
yeah. Um, yeah, that's true. I also think now that I think about it, what you just mentioned, there's a reason why you take Raiden off the board too, because you can't teleport people back out of places because he's the one that can move people around wherever the hell they want to. So if you remove him from the board, the good guys don't have that ability anymore.
right. Yeah, and I don't think he's like too powerful to be in the tournament. Like I'm sure that that's kind of their like, but I was like, I'm pretty sure in
Yeah,
the actual lore of the games, the rule is like you're a god.
right.
You're
You
actually just protecting Earth world, which means you collect people and put them in here,
right.
and then you get to talk to the elder gods when like Shao Kahn cheats. We don't really have to knock him out. We could have spent more time.
That's a consistent thing that these movies, because I feel like Annihilation, one of the other ones they didn't put Raiden in the actual tournament either.
No,
He was always like in the
it's another
background.
thing the first movie does well, where at one point somebody is like, Raiden, why aren't you fighting? And he's like, I'm bound by the
Yeah,
rules.
like I can't.
I'm
Yeah,
I'm the guy who's bound by it, which makes his arc that I'm sure we might do or we'll do it poorly. Once you get to like Deadly Alliance, where he does die and come back, and he is just like, actually, fuck the
F it.
rules, fuck Earthrealm.
Yeah,
I'm so tired of all of you.
which would
And
be
it's like,
great because like in both of these first two films, the bad guys have just said F the rules. We're gonna try to murder these people before
yeah,
the tournament. We're gonna do our own thing. Like this is what we're doing. Bring people back. Raiden's gonna be like F this. Rules are off. I don't care anymore.
it's what makes the games kind of have a fun sense of good versus evil, of having the people who are like, no, we're gonna, not only are we gonna win, but we're gonna win the right way.
Hmm.
And it also, while they're cheating, could give you that grace of like, oh well, they snuck in to the Lin Kuei place, so we'll do one of the fights in the living
Here,
forest.
right.
It clearly is the thing of like, we need to save money, and so we're just going to zap them here in green screen, throw
To a
up the
set. Yeah,
background, zap
yeah,
them out.
yeah.
And any interesting moment like Liu Kang and Kung Lao stuff, we'll just rush through it. Even like the deaths, and I get that now we're in this like Quan Chi's here, we can necromance everybody, which is also fine. That doesn't bother me too much.
Yeah, I'm okay with that because it's
Uh,
the game, and I was like, I do have a problem with it of just like one diminishing his. He's been now a butt of a joke now, which is fine. But it's kind of like, well,
it'll
we're
bother
just
me if they're all perfect, because when they really
yeah
do that in the games, they do come back as like the revenants, and
with
they
a
come back
deficiency,
like Kung Lao, and
right?
it is like, oh, now we have to have the new generation do
I
that.
think that is what bothers me about the necromancer piece of it is that we did three, maybe four, because Sindel was a part of it too, but we did three of them, and they all came back in varying different degrees. Like Kung Lao came back like possessed and like he was a dark version of himself. Kano, probably for the movie because he's the best part of it, came back perfectly fine. Everything was hunky dory with him. Excuse me. And then you have there was one more person that came back.
Sindel comes back because
Sindel
she's
comes
locked
back,
up.
but we don't talk to her to know if anything is different yet with her. And so there's a varying degree of like how these people come back. And I was like, I would like some sort of these people's soul is less than when they return. Oh,
Shang
Noob.
Tsung, yeah.
Then yeah, like Noob comes back and
Or can
he
he
was already
manipulate
bad,
it, or
but he
what's the,
yeah,
yeah.
like what's going on when we return them?
It also bothered me that when they're like assembling the team at the very end to like go get their friends, Kano, who should still be a bad guy, shows up with Quan Chi. It's just like, anyone need a necromancer? And I'm like, We didn't even see
Mm,
him. What?
yeah,
Like,
so I am so torn with Kano because like I love him as a character and an actor. He's the best. Like he gets the assignment. He's doing it well. But I'm also like, are we just going to actively keep putting him on the back and forth of whether he's on the good side or a bad on the bad side? I know he's always been he's a tweener, but like he genuinely does not like Sonya and him genuinely don't get along. So for him to all of a sudden just be like, "Cool, I'm on the team with you," and just say hi, Blondie, and she's kind of like give him the
we'll
look. I'm like,
kill him
they
when
should
we're
be fighting.
done. I was like,
They should be
what?
right. Yeah.
um, it's another thing that would work better if they took the time to build the red dragon and the black dragon, like kind of the gangs. And because if I remember right, he is like an arms dealer for this, and there are ones where he's like, I'm on Kano's side.
Right.
This guy happens to be paying me a lot of money.
Correct.
But there is then always the like, also though, I am a criminal and Sonyan Special Forces is
It's
trying
a
to
it's
take
a
me.
very different thing because I mean I'm going back, but like let's use like Lando or somebody like that. When he switches sides, you always get it because it's for the achievement of money. Like I'm doing things that make me the most prosperous in this. Even if you just take a beat to show us Kano's getting something out of switching to whichever side, then I can understand why he keeps flip-flopping. For now, it's just like when he walked in there to save Johnny Cage, I was like, I don't understand how this is the thing. Like, why is he doing
Yeah,
this? Other than they do bring up, and it's a funny beat, but him just saying like, yeah, I like Earth, I like the drinks, I like all this stuff. Like that's a funny beat. So he loves it's the
I don't
Merovingian, like
want the
the
world
Matrix
to be
part. Like I
conquered is
don't want
pretty
the world
much,
to end. Like I like
yeah.
having these things. Like the steak is great, Neo. So I'm sorry, I gotta f you up.
I did kind of dig it. It's another weird moment though, where I'm like, that would have hit harder if we had seen him struggle in Outworld a little bit longer. If
Yes,
we had seen him without the creature
we need him to
comforts.
have a opposite side where we see him like, wait a minute, hold on, I'm losing this, or I don't have this here. Then nah, I don't want this.
And I'm now eventually I should just do an essay about this, but this isn't the third movie in a row where I'm going to say it. Why is it so empty? Why is everything so? We opened the movie walking through this kingdom to kill Jared in front of 5 people, and nothing was more. The Tarkatan city is like 4 people like peeking around corners and like 2 kids,
The kiddos,
and
yeah.
and then we get to the last Katana Shao Kahn fight where she does this giant like, I'm going to show them all who you are. I'm going to kill this guy in front of you. Terrence, they don't react at all.
No.
They
Yeah.
shouldn't, they should be cheering like when Palpatine dies, and they kind of like meekly walk up where they're like,
And
what's,
then it's like,
oh, something's happening today.
should we bow?
Oh, the
Is she the
tournament.
king? Is she the king now? Queen now? Like, I guess we bow.
At the bar that Johnny Cage is in, he's like, I used to be Johnny Cage, and I was
You
like,
see
why is
Ed.
it what? Hire some extras. I'm getting
Yeah,
so tired of
it's
this.
a weird thing too, and I think it hurts it even more when they start taking when they do the zoom out and teleport people to a set because there's not going to be anybody
Oh,
there because we
this
we don't know
tournament for
where
the
the hell
fate
these
of the world is going to be observed by no one.
but no one. Yeah,
Yes.
it's a weird thing, and but I'm trying to think. It's a very different thing than this comparison is going to happen quite a bit. It's a very thing for the Street Fighter games. Those Mortal Kombat games, when I think about the background, a lot of them are empty.
Empty.
Where Street Fighter typically does have like people watching the battle, which is an odd choice, um, and a very different choice. But like Mortal Kombat, they stuck to that, and they're like, "Cool, if that's happening in the game,
It
we're gonna
happens
do
here.
that here." But the problem is, you have to go out of your way to not have people around. So you're going out of way to not have people around. It's like we're going to teleport people to this isolated event where we're going to have a fight where outside of the people that sent them there, we don't know who wins or loses because no one effing saw it.
Yeah, it's another thing where I'm like, yeah, that makes sense in the context of a game. Um, and it's also something that if you really truly are like, I want to set up an empty place like the game did with this, you could have done it in a way where we're at this place in a location and there's at least other rooms or other areas. He could have like walked out dragging Cole to like people and been like, here you go. Like
Hmm.
you could have done it in a way that justifies it.
They're like, we'll exit. Like, I'll take the decapitated body of him. Like, we won,
Yeah.
and like
Yeah.
everybody sort of celebrate or do something. Yeah.
Which I think also
Um,
would have been a fun moment for like when Jax saves Jade, if there were people who all witnessed that,
mhm.
having people beyond her, because it does just make everything feel empty,
It's
um,
a hollow. Yeah, it all
hollow,
feels like
hollow.
it's a set, and like there's no. It adds to the no weight to anything. Like if you're not giving me any character development, then at least make the world feel lived in. And if that's not happening either, then I'm kind of just watching a shell of people going through the greatest hits of Mortal Kombat. Which, as a Mortal Kombat fan, and I'll say this: if you watch this with an audience, this is a better experience than watching this with
Well,
by yourself.
this is a better first. This is a better movie than the first Mortal
Oh,
Kombat movie.
absolutely.
This is
And it's
without it.
probably the best Mortal Kombat movie since the original film.
Yeah,
Like
well,
that
yeah,
yeah. Um, but it has warts
it is
because it's
still
just
not
not a
good.
good movie. Yeah.
it
Yeah.
it's what I mean. Where I'm like, I always hate picking like a letter grade or a number grade for movies, but I think this was the first time where I was like, this is what a 60% is. I'm not mad.
Hmm.
I'm not like, I'm not walking out being like, ugh, but I
Yeah,
am
like,
kind of
oh, that
walking out
was
being like, no, I'm not gonna watch this again. And it,
yeah.
and man, we could have done four things to just elevate it if we just taken our time a
Yeah.
little bit,
It's weird
or
because
even just
like
put in more Johnny Cage. If you just
it's
put in more of the shit
it's
that
so
works,
fascinating because I think that Mortal Kombat 90's first one isn't a great movie either. But if I'm giving it a percentage score, it's like at least an 80. Like it does the things that it's supposed to do better and just it gets the assignment more than that. It feels lived in too. There's audiences, there's people
we go to
watching
an
these
yeah,
battles.
we go to an island. In theory, everyone's either there to watch or participate. There's a lot of like showmanship to it. There's a lot of
Hmm.
we just bring in Liu Kang. We do quick exposition dumps that don't really feel expositiony because we're doing it in dialogue with people who don't understand why they're there and people who are there for different. Sonya's not there for that. She's only there for Kano in that movie.
Right. She's literally just
Um,
chasing, yeah, chasing him.
yeah, and then like Johnny Cage is just kind of he's sort of the similar motivation to be there. When Johnny Cage is watching his old YouTube videos of himself, he had such an interesting arc because I feel like he kept just being like, "No, I'm not very good," but then there's
his
all this
his
evidence that he
turn
is.
his turn and his statement to Raiden also didn't feel earned when he's just like, no, I'm doing this for more. Like he's like, I get it now. And
I
Raiden's like,
learned
oh,
from you, Raiden, and even Raiden
Raiden's
has to be
like,
like, "You've had a great change, Johnny.
right. I'm
Audience, just
like,
so you know,
what?
has he? He's gonna go work
Like
with the
what?
bad guy."
Right. I was like, I'm confused. He's
He
stepping
also never
out
really
with the guy that wanted you dead.
he also was never against the tournament or against you or refused to fight or was an asshole. He
Yeah.
always was just sort of like, yeah, okay.
I don't want this doesn't involve me. I don't want to do this.
Yeah. Like what are
Yeah.
we talking about?
It's it's a film that like to your point, you leave and I'm like, I don't hate this, but I am never going to think about this movie again.
No, no.
Yeah.
Maybe the third one will
Um
be a little it's a weird one where I'm like, oh man, we could
we're taking
probably do
incremental
three,
steps. You're heading in the right direction.
grab a new writer and director and make three work. Like and
Yeah.
really, really because like even the beats with Scorpion, like that actor's doing well when he's just like tending
He
his
is.
garden and it's like,
He's
yeah, I don't know
so
what you're
good. That
talking
that is
about. And then they're just like
that is an
Sub
amazing
Zero's
actor
here.
that we're just actively wasting. Like he is a great actor. We're just kind of like, well, we'll
And that
shit the bed
is
with this.
it's a bummer because and I understand where the people making these movies are probably confused because without a doubt the most boring part of Mortal Kombat's story is the tournament. It
Yeah.
is also at the minimum where you need to start because once you get out of I want to say really three, like four is when Shinnok shows up and they're all like, well, we have to stop him, and then
Yeah.
five is Deadly Alliance where we have to stop. At a certain point we are just like, oh, there's bad guys showing up constantly that
Right.
we now have the teams and we're all fighting for something.
Correct.
That being said, to not start with the tournament and also not do the work of building up the world of the Lin Kuei, the Black Dragon, Special Forces, the Shaolin monks, and then to do the tournament and kind of have it be like, whatever, it now puts you in a weird place where I'm like, you haven't done any of the work to earn the fun
To
of like
break away from the
Scorpion's arc.
tournament. You can't do the
If
Scorpion's
Shinnok
revenge
shows up
film. You
next,
can't do, yeah.
it will just feel like this, but instead of Shao Kahn, Shinnok's gonna be like, I'm doing the tournament today.
Yeah. I also,
Especially now that we're jumping to the Revenants, like we're skipping that to
we're
be like, well, we gotta
skipping,
go get
yeah.
the dead people.
I sort of say, and I don't know why they keep doing this. Either play the theme or don't. Like, stop putting a chord or two in there and then like, oh, never mind, we're gonna go do something else. And I was like, fucking, just put it on. Like, what are you doing? That gives you 10% points alone right there. Just stop playing around with the song.
Yeah, the movie, and I haven't seen any like interviews about it, but the movie really feels like somebody who maybe played 2 Mortal Kombat games and then like listened to 3 focus groups instead of somebody who's like, I love stuff
This
and I love
definitely
video
feels
games.
like, yeah, this
And it
definitely feels like somebody took all the focus groups and information that came from the first movie and was like, oh, that's what they want? Okay, I played a couple games. I'll course correct this. I'll fix this.
and they're not wrong. And it's like, yeah, you did all the things that I wanted you to do for the next one. And you did execute it a little bit better, but you're still just so like it is the Mario movie might be the best analogy I can
Yeah.
think of where I'm like, oh, this is almost amazing. This just
Hmm.
a few screws. Come on. Like you've
Yeah.
got all the pieces there. Um, and it's not quite like the Halo adaptation where they just straight up are like, no.
We've
Uh,
never played a game ever.
but they now do
Ignore it
live
all.
in a world where there are so many game adaptations and so
And
many
they're
of them that are like
so are really
crushing it
good. Yeah.
that the grace I used to give some of these things where I'm like,
It's
well,
not
it's
there
hard to
anymore.
adapt a video game. Of course, they don't know how to adapt a tournament, so we have to have floaty things in the sky.
Yeah.
Uh, it's like it does feel like somebody who like an '80s adaptation of like was it Streets of Rage? No, it was Double Dragon and like the original Street Fighter, where they were just
Oh.
sort of like, well, we have to find ways to have health bars, and it's like you don't actually. You don't have to. You don't
I
have to find the
forgot all
thing.
about Double Dragon with the necklaces. Jesus
Yeah,
Christ.
yeah. It's like no, you don't have to have that. That is a thing in the game.
Yeah.
That exists here the same way you don't need speech bubbles when you adapt a comic book. You
It's
don't have to
right.
do this.
I think Kevin Feige might be the best at it. It was like, hey, I'm going to pull the essence of the comic book, but I don't need to have everything on here because some of that stuff just doesn't translate. Gaming folks have not quite gotten the pulse of when or not to add or pull away things that are in the game versus what should be in the live action version
Yeah.
of it.
And some are there, like nobody goes and gathers resources in like Last of Us. There is no like, oh, I found screws and I
Yeah.
can like um but there is something to the like, yeah, you kind of like the last Resident Evil, the Welcome to Raccoon City, I think was an example of like, oh, you guys literally made the costumes and made the
Shot for shot.
house
Yeah.
and you forgot everything that
Everything
makes
else.
this.
Hmm.
And I will give you some points for being like, good, yeah, that's the level that I want to see.
Hmm.
I don't care.
Yeah.
That is,
Yeah.
I'm kind of past. I think
There's
Mario
a
might be the last one where I'm like, there were all the things that I like to see, and it was fun.
I'm happy.
Yep.
Yeah. I think
But
Sonic is probably one of the better ideas of when they're like they've managed to like, all right, we've made a good property out of this. And they've done
they've
different things with each one of them, but
they've
they
nailed
get
it.
it.
We've figured out
Yeah.
what the characters do, how they act, how they interact with each other. We've built this universe, we've built the rules, and now you can just play in it.
Yeah.
That now you get to just be like Metal Sonic and Amy are showing up. Don't even worry about it.
Cool.
Where like with this franchise, I'm oddly like, okay, well, if they introduce like Frost and Ermac and
Yeah.
Melina, I am gonna be like, oh, is this gonna be interesting? Or are you gonna just show
Yeah.
me a red ninja who is made up of a bunch of souls to kill him? Because I
Right. That was
like
the other
Ermac
thing
and I
that
would
they
like that character to be dope. Are we gonna get Cyrax and then just be like, he's gone today? Like,
forgot that's the other thing they did in the first film. We just burned through Melina and didn't have Katana Jade or any
oh yeah,
of the
we already
people that
did
are
Melina, didn't
attached
we?
there.
I
Yeah.
can't believe I just watched the movie this week. I'm already like, oh yeah.
She's in there already.
But it is a bummer
They
because
wasted her.
it's hard to do Smoke, Cyrax, and Sector without building up the Lin Kuei and having the
Correct.
story thread. Because that's another great story of like, this is an old, like meaningful group of people. This clan believes in the old ways, and half of them are like, actually, it's better if we all become robots. And
Yeah.
one of them is going to forcibly have this done to him.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's a great plot. It has nothing to do with the tournament, but then
No,
these people are still involved in the tournament.
correct.
And so there is then that thing of like, well, we have to go fight Cyrax and Sector, but we also do need to get Smoke back somehow.
Yeah.
And I think that's why a part of me is like, I don't know what the answer is for these. I know it isn't this. I think these are
Yeah.
just good enough. We'll start talking about the box office. These are just good enough to be like, you'll make your money back.
They'll get your money back. I am curious because this we live in a world where they both happen to be coming out in the same year. I'm curious to see what Street Fighter looks like on the other end of this,
It will be
considering those
so
franchises are
funny
tied at the hip.
after how terrible every single Street Fighter thing has been. If this movie comes out and we're just like, this is
nailed
so
it.
much better.
Right.
And frankly, kind of looks like it is.
It does look like it's looking like it understands the assignment far better than I think it has any right to.
And I do think part of the problem with this movie, though, is that I'm just like, every single thing I'm looking at is fake, and it looks fake, and it doesn't look like you even put the money in.
Yeah,
This
after a
looks
while,
bad.
I think we've been around long enough that we miss the days of, and our friend, we walked out of the theaters. I miss the days of like Pirates of the Caribbean when I walked
Yeah.
out of that and I'm like, oh, that's a set, that's a scale. Everything feels weighted on everything you're doing. There's a gravitas to all of it. Whereas this is kind of just like, cool, you guys are on a green screen and you
And I
shot some
think
stuff.
that's also what I miss when I say empty. I don't think it's just background actors. I think it is scale. I think there is a
Hmm.
weird thing because as soon as you said that, I was like, oh yeah, there weren't really any like cool
Sweeping
establishing
shots or
shots.
like,
Any
nope,
big, there was
no.
no big
Because
grandiose.
I think I would be more okay with the just dropping us into a set or say this is where the fight's happening if we looked at the entire, like if we came in and then
It's like
zoomed
I
in on
said, the
them and that.
simplest things would
Yeah.
make me okay with this teleportation nonsense. But the fact that we're
Yeah.
doing it and then we're just nowhere is like, what? Okay.
Yeah.
Bring Even the first one kind of does it when we fall into the netherworld for the first time and we kind of see all of
Hmm.
it, and you are like, oh, where this is cool.
Correct.
Like,
Yeah.
at no
They
point
did
was
a
I
lot
dropped in
actual better in that
anywhere and
first
be
one because
like,
even
this is
with
cool.
the warehouse where Jackson Sub-Zero fought, they kind of showed us that whole warehouse first before they started fighting, which was like,
Also,
oh, okay, cool.
I get that we're about to go and like save everyone in the next movie or whatever, but why did nobody care when Jax died? Why was that such a like Johnny Cage kind of was like, ah,
Sonya
but I
was
was like,
like, Jax, and then that was kind of
even
it.
like
And it
Liu
seemed like
Kang,
we're
who's still supposed to be the chosen one. I was like, how is
especially
no
at that
one?
point in time, none of them are aware that the necro.
We
They just think
just
they're dead,
lost.
dead. They're dead, dead. Right, right.
Also, even if they can come back, we in theory,
We've seen Kung Lao. He's
yeah,
not good.
we also in theory just lost Sonya, and which is why even when Katana was like, I'm gonna fight for Earthrealm, and it switched colors, a part of me was like, is that in the rule book? Can you just be like,
I
never
I
mind?
I meant to bring that up. Yes, that annoyed me so much. I was like, wait. So these rules are arbitrary now? Like we can just do that?
You could have
And then
also
part
just
of me
been
is like,
like,
well, hold
you
on.
lost
Can
the tournament, but she's
Johnny
gonna go
Cage come
fight.
back and fight again? Because technically he didn't die, he lost, but the rules seem to not matter now.
Which makes any effort of them being like, oh, they're cheating, like not matter at all. Like there
Right.
is
Because I'm like, you
no,
just did.
yeah,
That's
no,
not
you
in the
just stood
rules.
up and were like, never mind. And again, simple thing. You could have been like, we've lost, it's over, and the katana been like, I'm gonna kill you anyways. And then I get to decide, and then I rule this, and then I get to
And then
set
I
everyone
decide
free.
what
And then
happens
I
to
can be
the
like, never mind.
right.
And then we're done. Then you can also be like, no tournament, but Shinnok's ambulance out here, so Shinnok's gonna come and you're gonna revive your friends. In the next movie, we can do that stuff instead.
Yeah.
Let's talk numbers now because
It's doing well.
it's here's what's funny to me. It's doing well. It's at about 38.7 million worldwide, or no, 80 million worldwide, 38.7 domestic. It did lose this weekend to the second week of Devil Wears Prada 2, which
Hmm.
fascinates me. Which maybe it
I
shouldn't fascinate me as much, but it is like that's wild to me.
I I'll say this. I think Mortal Kombat is a very top heavy type of a franchise. Like people are going to come out Thursday and Friday, and this is what happened this weekend. They essentially lost Saturday because it's Mother's Day. that makes sense to
Oh,
me
I didn't
because I
think
can
about that.
see Saturday and Sunday going back to Devil Wears Prada because of just families taking their
It
moms to
is
go see
also a
Prada.
huge, like the first one is huge. This one is huge.
Yeah, and Mortal
People
Kombat
love those
also
movies.
is R rated,
Right.
which there's a audience that they can't get it that can't get in. So
And
I think all of that's a place of it. I think the number is not bad for an R rated, but I do think that they expect it to come out as number one. But I don't think anybody took that Mother's Day aspect of this into account because
no. And I think it is also
I
the
feel like
worldwide is really carrying it. The domestic is
correct
almost where, yeah, it is almost where the first
for
one,
the
it's
it's
like 10 million higher.
it's a worldwide. I mean, I get it. It's a worldwide franchise, kind of like Mario. Like it, this is a brand, so like it's going to pull outside of the U.S. Um, legs wise, I don't know. I don't feel like I feel like once the audience has seen it and the word of mouth is out, outside, like you might get a couple of people that come back to say, "Hey, you should come see this. This is better than the last one," because I think that's a piece of this too. These numbers are soft because that first one was not received well at all. Um, so I think that's a piece of this as well.
Yeah, no, I think all of that is. It's hard to compare it to the first one's opening, which was 23.3 million. It went on to make a total of 37 million. But it was
Yeah,
also in 2021 when Warner Brothers was like, everything will release day and date, and we're still kind of
right.
doing COVID. Um, Even if you like bring in like they estimated there was 1.7 billion lost for that year,
Hmm.
which really, if you divide it by the 17 movies that they released that way, is only like 100,000 per movie. And if you take into account 30% is like the opening,
Right.
it kind of really only boosts Mortal Kombat up to like maybe 25 million.
Yeah, it's still, yeah.
It still would have not, it's not like it would have been like, oh, it just made $1 billion if we didn't do this. So clearly, I mean, it's clearly still popular. It is sitting, the Rotten Tomatoes stuff is it's doing better. It is still
I need
probably
to
not
see
really
what
where
the
you
fan
want it to
is
be.
on Rodden.
It is at a 65 critic and 89 audience. And the
Okay,
last one
that's
was a
about right.
55 critic and 85 audience.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
I
like I
think,
said, it's an improvement film, like movie wise too, but it's
yeah,
not. It's still a bad movie.
yeah,
Um,
it's not, I was not excited. Like I didn't feel great leaving, but I also wasn't, I was just kind of
I've
like,
been
all right,
angry
the
at some
fights were
things this year.
fun.
This wasn't one of them. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh no, it's definitely not the worst thing I've seen this year.
No.
It is that weird thing where it's like, it's Mortal Kombat. I want this to be awesome. Like I
Yeah, like
want
I
this to
should
be
walk out of that
awesome.
pumped. Yeah, and I think you can be a bad movie, but then still enter like fully like just get me
Yeah.
amped. That first movie, the '90s first movie, was very good at doing
Oh
that.
yeah.
I
That
think
song
this
alone
one,
does a lot of that heavy lifting.
yeah, like it cover
Like that's
it covers a lot of ground where things aren't good. It fills in the gaps, but I think we'll see. Like, there's nothing really until Mando. There's no real big release, so it's going to be interesting to see how this next week goes because there's a lot of smaller releases that come out. Some are in the same sort of horror R-rated wheelhouse as Mortal Kombat, so I think that might drop because Obsession seems to be tracking and word of mouth seems to be pretty good for that film.
yeah. All right. Well, I think that is it. We will
Indeed.
leave you with that and see you next time. Of course, you can follow the show at Hollywood ADI on Twitter. And Terrence has the YouTube channel for it. Hollywood already did it, where he does the trailer reactions and TV show reviews. I'm at As Always Blake, and Terrence is at Terrence Tatum. And we will see you all next time.
Later.